What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Coming to you guys with another video. Monday's going to be jumping now, you guys, especially with Shades of Blue being back. This is Shades of Blue Season 2. This is episode 1 of Season 2 that's entitled Unforgiven. And if you guys watch season 1 of Shades of Blue, you guys know for a network TV show, it was pretty brutal, it was pretty cutthroat, and it is a nail biter from beginning to end. So I'm expecting nothing less from this season 2. We see this season's first episode, open up with Miguel Cepeda, which is Christina's father. Our leading character is Harley Santos. You know that Harley was pregnant by Miguel, which led to Christina. And in our last season, we see Miguel sort of win Christina over and turn her against her mom. Well, we left off with Miguel threatening Christina. He's threatening Harley. He has broken into her home. He is sexually threatening her, telling her she's got to do all these things to stay in his good graces or he's going to take Christina away. And then he gives her this vague, you know, sort of vaguely thinned threat against Christina, in which case Harley goes into mama bear mode, baby, and cacao snaps his neck. He drops to the floor, dead as a dog. I was like, yes, he was getting on my nerves. So we see that she's in this moment of shock, and she hears this music in the background, this repeated ringing, and realizes, Christina, that's Christina's ringtone. She runs to the bathroom to get the phone, where the tub is overflowing, and she just missed Christina call. Well, of course, she's frantic. I mean, the tub is overflowing. She just missed Christina call. There's a dead man on the floor. He's threatened her. She's out of it, and in true Harley flat fashion, her mind races a mile a minute, and she realizes what she must do. She snatches that shower curtain down, and she's out. Okay, very, very good scene. This is one of the reasons why I love this program. Like that neck snapping was everything you needed to be. Awesome. Okay, so now we see back at headquarters, FBI SUVs coming in. They open the back up. We see both of the FBI agents. Agent Robert is there. I can't remember the black lady's name. They're sitting in the car looking through their windshield at their other agents open up the back, and then we see the stacks of money there. And then we see another SUV pull up, and they open the doors, and it's Wazniack, and he is chained at the wrist and he is chained at the feet, and they get him out of there, and they say, oh, Lieutenant Wozniak turns himself in, and he is NYPD, and he is chained, and he is walking, and he seems he seems defeated. He seems remorseful. He seems downtrodden. This is all a ploy. If you guys watch season 1, you already know that Waz already always got an ace up his sleeve. We hear Robert, who is getting a lot of satisfaction out of this. Like, he doesn't even realize yet that he has been bested. He doesn't even know yet. He doesn't know the half of how much he's been bested. So he says real slick to Waz, yeah, you're a little light. You promised me $12 million. And Waz says, oh, maybe it is missing a finder's fee. Ooh, that's shade. That's shade. Now, that's shade for the Harley situation. And that's shade for you thinking you really thought you was going to get all 12 million. Really? Whatever. And then we flash back and we see Harley. Harley is at Saperstein's gravesite. She has taken that shower curtain that she snatched down. She has wrapped up Miguel's body, and now she is going to bury him in the same spot that Saperstein is in. So she's at Saperstein's gravesite. Up pulls a car. She pulls her badge. She shows her badge. Says, NYPD. She's not at all too nervous, but she still pulls her badge. NYPD. The person gets out of the car, dragging a shovel, and she says, "What took you so long?" Now, this is either the guy who is a drug addict that helps her out with all her IT stuff, or this is the gentleman that she really, really likes from last season. But we don't know yet. We don't know. We cut back to Wazniak being back at the police station, and this is where we see Ray Liotta at his finest. He is the perfect person to play Wazniak. Okay, so we see this conversation that happens. FBI agent Robert goes into his spiel. You know what I mean? Some criminals wear masks. Some criminals, are the masterminds, so on and so forth. And woo woo woo. Wozniak says, "What is it that you want?" He says, FBI agent Robert says, "Hey, if you can't get me the mastermind behind this heist, this $12 million heist, then I'm looking at what I want." So Wozniak says, "So what you gonna do? Dress up prostitute?" Oh, now if you didn't see last season, you know that FBI agent Robert um has a thing for Harley. He has a kind of a sick, twisted relationship with Harley. I mean, is his CI, but also he likes her. He has a crush on her. So he pays this prostitute to come in and dress up and pretend to be Harley. And Wozniak knows that, so he drops it on the table. Boom, disarms him. Then he says, you know, "Oh, what you gonna do? Dress up a prostitute to look like me? To frame me with? If you are, you're gonna have to do better. You're gonna have to do a good job of it, because I have a very specific taste." Now we already know that this is a reference to the fact that Wozniak is secretly gay. Ooh, so messy. I love it, y'all. I just love it so much. Oh, and this completely disarms Robert, FBI agent Robert. He is out of his intelligence level. He is out of his depth with this. Wozniak is a beast at this thing. Wozniak immediately goes into his spiel. He says, "Yeah, I'm not in a holding cell. You got these chains on me. They're temporary, but I haven't been read my rights. I haven't been told what I'm being charged with. So again, what is it that you want from me?" He's a police lieutenant. Okay, it's not going to be as easy as you think it is to take Wozniak down, even if he did come and turn himself in. Don't hold your breath. FBI agent Robert says, "I need a dirty cop." Cut back to Harley. It is, in fact, the gentleman that always helps her out, who is an ex-police, like a forensic guy, IT forensic guy, and also, her friend. He's there, and Harley puts Miguel's body in the hole. She asks for the chisel. She jumps down in the hole, and this is a part of the love-hate relationship that you will have with each and every one of these characters, especially the ones that are crooked. Wozniak is crooked, but you gotta kind of respect the eloquence at which he plays the game. He's also a brutal killer. But again, there's an elegance in the way that he does things. Harley, she's our heroine, but she's also um, a killer as well. She kills um, inadvertently, and as we see here, in a more deliberate fashion. She gets down in the hole, and right before she does it, she gets a call on Miguel's phone from Christina. She opens the phone up and she hears Christina say, "Dad, Dad," and she hangs that phone up. And then she goes back to doing what she has to do, which is removing all of these teeth out of Miguel's mouth. That's what she does. She takes a chisel and she cracks all of the teeth out of his mouth. Now, this is a mother, a police officer. Okay, this this brutal. This for NBC, to me, this is a brutal program, but I like it. Okay, so then we see that there is a press conference. It's daylight now. There's a press conference where they're looking for the persons or person who hijacked this armored truck with this $12 million, and people are asking questions. We see the remaining Wazniak crew in the background looking on, and we don't know what's going on with that, but we can ascertain from this small scene that Wozniak still has not been charged, that it is still not public knowledge that he is in at least in custody in some capacity. So let's move forward. So now we see Harley going over to Robert's hotel. Remember, she's his CI, so she wants to see Wozniak. And Roberts plays it real calm, real cool, like he's in charge, and he already know Wozniak done pull his ticket already. But he not gonna let Harley know that, because Harley is his love interest. At the end of the day, he got a crush on her. He must make her believe that he's got everything where he wants it. She wants to see Wozniak. He said, "Well, you know I can't do that. He's in federal custody. This is a man with a job and a family and a life. Really, Harley, you don't know him to be a killer? You don't know Wozniak to be a killer? Come on, girl. Come on. Come on." Okay, but you got to keep that role going. You got to keep that act going, because you playing them both. Harley playing the FBI, and she's also playing Wozniak and her crew, because she got a daughter to think about. She is in full on survival mode. So he says, "Hey, Wozniak is in custody. He is a little sleep deprived. He it doesn't realize the actual predicament that he's in, how much trouble he's in, and how I've got him over a barrel, so to speak. But other than that, he's fine. Don't worry about him." So next we see Harley down at the police station. All of the Wozniak crew is there, with the exception of um the black guy. I forget his name. He and Saperstein were super close. Marcus, he's not there, but Tess and, I have to get my name straight, Carlos are talking about Tess having been shot and doing light duty desk duty. They can't figure out where Wozniak is. When they see Harley, they're like, "Have you seen Wozniak?" And she said, "Well, he's probably just trying to track down what's going on with this heist situation." And Carlos makes a reference to the fact that whoever it is that took that money ultimately better watch out, because anybody across Wozniak is a dead man. Well, you spend any time with Wozniak, you already know that. So Harley, is like, "Oh, hope not." And she goes into his office. She tries to call Wozniak on the phone. I mean, she's frazzled. She's trying to hold it together, but Harley is a thinker. She works plans out. She tries to stay 2 steps ahead of the situation. She's trying to figure out what's going on. Are they talking about her down there? Is she involved? What's happening with the whole Wozniak thing? What is going on? And she's trying to figure out, as she puts her head down, and who walks in but Wozniak. And he says that didn't take long. She looks up. She's like, "What happened?" And she looks appropriately frazzled, like her life has been hard without him, which, he needs that affirmation. He tells her, he says a couple of slick comments about, the usual, whatever, let's go. They head downstairs, get in the car. They're out for a ride. Now, remember, Agent Robert has told him he needs a dirty cop. So Harley's got to play it real. She's got to walk that line here, because how much does Wozniak know? Is Wozniak now going to set her up? Should she incriminate herself in some sort of way? What the heck is going on? She does not know. So she's got to be smart. And this is what we love about Harley. For all her faults, she is one smart cookie. So let's see how this plays out. So they're riding along, and of course, his complete silence and bloodshot eyes is making her nervous. And she's telling him, "I sent Christina to my sister's house. I was going to turn myself in, right? I was going to turn myself in, right?" And she starts going into this thing, where she's trying to figure him out, get some response, see what his temperature is. And she says, I was worried about you. I thought, something had happened to you, and I wasn't sure. And she says, what did he say when you mentioned the prostitute? Talking about Agent Robert. And he says, oh, yeah, he rolled right over. Yeah, it was a great tip, Harley. And she says, well, I mean, why did he let you go? And he says, well, who said they let me go? So pulls up to this spot, and she was like, wait, where are we? What is this? Give me my kit, Harley. Reese is in the bag, gives him this kit. And she continues to talk. She continues to talk. I went too far. I should have let you know the minute they arrested me, the minute they approaching me about informing. I should have let you know. And woo 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 woo. The whole time he putting on his OJ gloves. You know what I'm saying? It's like, tightening them up. She don't know. Is this nigga about to strangle me out? Is he about to, you know what I'm saying? Hem me up in this place? What is going on? Because he's not giving her anything to feed off of. He's not giving her anything except he tightening up these OJ gloves. Oh, Ray Liotta is the business. Wazniak, after he puts those gloves on, he immediately starts to play this recording, a recording of Harley convincing him very, very well last season that she was not a federal informant. And he looks at her. She turns to the window and she's like, ooh. She turns it off. She can't take it anymore because she knows what this means. He knows a lot more. He says, you recorded me? You wore a wire? And she says, I didn't know what else to do. I'm sorry. He then gets on the walkie-talkie, calls in a crime, gets up, walks across the street. She's like, tell me what's going on. Tell me what to do. I mean, he's got her at his mercy. He loves her. He loves her like a daughter. He's not really sure what the heck is going on. She's not really sure what the heck is going on. So for this moment, they are on the same playing field. They do not know what to do, except they've got to do everything they can to both stay out of jail and or dead. So walks across the street, knocks this man in the head, goes to the door. He's kind of sort of telling her what the story is supposed to be. They set up crime scenes all the time, which was the problem that I had with this program last season. But anyway, they set up people for crimes all the time. So now they're setting up someone to have attacked this random person, put blood on the door, goes inside the building, and turns out this mob guy who was running New York, they're going to shake him down. And she's saying, is this what you have to do? Is this what I need to do to prove my loyalty? I mean, she's just going along for the ride. He's just taking her on the ride. She don't have any idea what the fallout from this is going to be. But messing with the mobster, the head of who runs Brooklyn, is probably not going to be a good thing, Harley. So he getting you in super, super, super deep, girl. You're going to have to really outrun this joker. Okay, so this whole mobster arrest thing is all a part whatever it is he has to do for Agent Roberts, Wazniak. It's all convoluted. We're not going to get into that. Um, I will say this, that Harley's love interest, I think he is a part of the DEA. Let me just eek, eek. Anyway, they have a little conversation. They got a real cute, sexy little relationship. She tells him that whatever Wozniak has on this mob guy is solid. It's gonna stick. Um, gives him a little heads up. Then we see Agent Robert with prostitute Harley, and he talks her into putting handcuffs on, in which case she does. She puts the handcuffs on, and he immediately questions her about who talked to her about her playing Harley, and did she do an official statement? Did she put anything in writing? No. How much did you tell him about what we do? Now, mind you, she's handcuffed, and she's scared, and she's afraid. Well, he just tells her, you're gonna have to disappear. You're gonna have to go. I can't have you around as a witness. And she thinks he's gonna kill her, but no, he gives her money and an Amtrak ticket. Go to your basement apartment. He lets her know he know where she lives. Go to your basement apartment in the Bronx, pack up all your stuff, and get out. Start a new life somewhere else. Cause I can't have you around. And she shakes her head. Yes. He said, I need a verbal commitment. She said yes. And then she thinks he's gonna untie her and send her on her way to go pack up her stuff. No, I done paid you for the hour. So he carries on with their session. Tell me your name again. Harley. I was like, ooh, it's some sick jokers on this program. Yeah. Okay, so Harley goes to see Robert, Agent Robert, at the office, and she tells him, "You put me in this position with Wazniack. You played my tape for him," and he's real nonchalant, like, "Well, hey, you put yourself in that position. You." She's like, "What am I collateral damage?" And they just go back and forth, and she's trying to implore to him that, "Hey, Wazniak will snuff me out. You put me in a real bad position," and he says, ultimately, um, I had Wozniak do this thing with the mob guy because I want to see who bails the mob guy out. It's not about the mob guy. It's who in this city in a position of power is letting the mob run this city. That's what it's about. At the same time, we see Wozniak meeting with this mayoral candidate who happens to be the same person who did the press conference early on in the episode. Okay, she's there. They're old friends. They used to connect the parts together back in the day and drink and carouse. She knows the skinny on him. He knows the skinny on her. And he's telling her he needs her help with a couple of things. Okay, so Wozniak they plays the game with this lady. They have drinks, and then she lets on and lets him know, "Hey, I need you to let this mob guy go." And he says, "Well, I can't do that." And she goes on and on into telling him why, and if it's in what it's in his best interest. The guy's only hasn't been transferred to central booking yet. You can make this disappear. I need this to disappear. Okay, so Wozniak, he either agrees or he does something. Anyway, she leaves and he pushes everything off on the desk on the floor. He's upset, but now he sees the position that Harley was in. He definitely sees the position that Harley was in that now you're being forced to betray someone that you have a relationship with. It's not as easy as you think to cover yourself and cover your family and also still be loyal to your friends. And he is pissed off about this situation. So, yeah. So we cut to Harley talking to Christina, and basically Harley does what one of the things that she's really, really good at, which is running the game, covering up, and that she's a grade A #1 liar, and she talks to Christina and she lets her know that she did some bad things. The last time I talked to you, Christina says you sounded like something was really, really wrong, like it was the end, like the end. And she says, "Well, I had to send you away, honey, because um, I did some bad things and I thought I was going to get in trouble. What did you do?" A lot of criminals make money. They make money hurting people. And Christina says, "Did you take some of that money?" And she said, "Yeah." "Well, what did you take the money for? Why would you do that?" "I took it because of Miguel. I wanted to give it to Miguel to get him to go away." At the same time she's having this conversation with Christine, we see a sort of flashback of her going to Miguel's house and finding the money that she gave him. Now she can't do anything with this money because this money is from the bank robbery, and it's probably tracked money. And so she takes the money. His mom comes in. She hides, makes a phone call. The phone rings in the mom's house. She goes back downstairs. She's undiscovered. She slips out. She goes to a barbecue grill and she burns all this money because the money can't move. It can't go anywhere. Okay. So she feels like she's covering her tracks. She feels like she's doing this thing up. At the same time, she's going on and on with Christina in the narrative about, I don't know how two people like us, meaning her and Miguel, Harley and Miguel, made somebody as wonderful as you. No, mom, you gave him the money. You knew he would take it. He didn't even say goodbye. So she's severing Christina's relationship with her father in a way that it gives Christina this idea that Miguel is a snake, which he is a snake, but at the same time, um, you know what I'm saying? It's underhanded. It's underhanded. It's low down. It's underhanded. But she's doing it really for Christina's own good. But this is another lie. This is another tangled part of the web that Harley is putting together in this whole deceitful process. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, J-Lo does it way big in this show. Oh, you guys, listen. So we see Christina at Wazniak house, and she's talking to his wife. Wazniak comes in. He wants to know where her mom is. Where's Harley? Did she call? Did you call her? Did she say where she was? Is she in town? What's happening? And Christina's like, I don't know. What are you talking about? She was at work. I'm not sure. So then he looks at Christina. He's like, you're not your normal playful self. What's going on with you? Like, he is on high alert because at this point he feels like Harley played him. So his trust for anybody is off. So we see Harley walking towards the pier. She has Miguel's phone. She has spent this entire episode covering her tracks with having snapped his neck and covering it with Christina. And now she's got to do one final piece, which is send Christina a farewell text from Miguel and tell him not to contact him ever again. Dad. That last part is probably gonna come back and bite her in the butt. Dad. Snaps the phone in half, throws it in the river, and then she goes and she's gonna head on over to Wozniak's house now because they're gonna all sit down and have a family dinner. Wozniak, his wife Christina, and Harley. So we see Julia, the mayoral candidate, get on the boat of the mob guy, and he's talking to her about um I thought you had these people under control. I thought you were going to make this thing go away. What's happening? And she's like, look, I got it under control. I'm going to make it happen. And he said, I preferred it never to have happened at all. And she says, listen, what you need to be worried about is um who's ultimately behind making Wozniak do this. He gets up and he goes and he shoots his bodyguard in the head. And he does that as a threat to her. And he also does it because he feels like that if his bodyguard was on his job, the two corrupt cops, meaning Harley and Wozniak, would have never have walked up on him to do this false arrest, to do this plant. And she says, well, am I supposed to be impressed? He says, what you need to do is make this go away. And she says, we need to find out who ultimately is in charge of forcing them to have done this thing. We cut back to Harley in the workshop of Wozniak. Christina and Wozniak's wife are in the house. This is where Harley and Wozniak first had the conversation about there being a rat. And so she says, why aren't you looking at me? What's going on? And I need you to trust me. And he said he was going to take Christina from me. And he wants to know, where did she have the wire that day on the pier? She says, behind my back. And he said, I will never trust you again. You are a rat. And she is like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. And he tells her, I will never, ever, ever do anything to take Julia down. I'm not going to do that. So obviously he has decided he's not going to turn on Julia. He himself is not going to be a rat on Julia. He's going to find some other way to take Agent Robert down and sort of make a wash of this whole thing. Um, he blames Harley for Saperstein dying, even though he's the one that killed Saperstein, and he wants to hold her feet to the fire. And for as good of a liar as she is, for as good as figuring out things as she is, this is the one thing that's going to be the hardest hurdle for her to get over, is convincing Wozniak to trust her again. That's going to be really, really difficult because he's got a bee in his bonnet about the fact that she got past him with those lies. And it is the great divide between the two of them. Okay, that's it for this episode, you guys. It's a lot. It's very difficult to review it. So you guys are always going to get this episode on Monday because I have to watch it and review it as I watch it. Taking notes is a no-go. There's so many layers. There's so many different layers to this, which was what makes it a good programming, but it also makes it really, really difficult to review. So I hope you love this review. I hope that you fall in love with this show. It is gritty. It is thrilling. It's dramatic. There is so many people to love. At the same time, those same people you hate. They are good. They are bad. They are just everything about human nature that we see in this day-to-day world. And so I'm here for it. I love this show. I love J-Lo's role on this show. Ray Liotta, mwah, perfection. Okay, the boy brings the acting heat every time. Okay, you guys, that's Shades of Blue, Season 2, Episode 1, Unforgiving. Let me know what you think. Remember to subscribe down below. Remember to give me a thumbs up. And remember to comment and let me know what you think about this episode. Okay, you guys, until next time, I'll holla.